talking about the Titans here. The Titans.
Swing and a drive, left field. It's gone! And it's gone! It is bedlam at the bank!
The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
Podcast right here. You already know. Go fucking subscribe. Go follow.
You are now listening to the 302 Birds Phillies postgame show with Eric, Brendan, Dalt, and Ballpark Tommy. Proudly powered by TickPick. Check out the link in the bio for $10 off your first order today. Let's take it to the show.
I'm going to open it like this with everybody on screen because I want everybody to see how fucking pissed off we are, because this team is literally a bunch of bums who took this week off to sit and do nothing. Kevin Long this whole week has done nothing. Rob Thompson this whole week has done nothing. The bullpen this whole week has done nothing. Nothing. I don't understand how literally you only score one run. You score one fucking run this whole entire game, and you look like dog shit. Granted, this umpire was probably the worst umpire I think I have ever seen. The inconsistency between pitches was terrible. So, like, I don't understand what you did this whole week to prepare for this game. I don't. And personally, I don't know anymore. I don't even know if they're going to win this series. You guys might be more confident. That's great for you. Personally, I think it's over. They're probably going to come out and score 10 runs tomorrow, though. That's just how it goes. Whatever.
All right, I'll jump in before we get to a little bit of positivity here, I guess. Today was shit. I think just besides for one person and one person in the first inning, it was shit. 3 people got hits, and one of those people got 2 hits, and 2 of the hits came in the 8th inning, which is absolutely ridiculous in an NLDS game that you go 6 innings with no hits. That's my first take on everything, of just you waste a Wheeler performance. Again, a guy who should hands down be the front runner for Cy Young. I get Chris Sale, he's a Triple Crown winner. I get it. But Wheeler has been more consistent, more determined, just better all around. And the fact that nobody can run produce for this guy is absolutely ridiculous. It's just day in and day out with this guy. He's getting fucked every time he's out there.
I agree with you, Brendan. It was a gem by Wheeler. Wheeler pitched an absolute – it was a historic performance in MLB history, and the most swings and misses out of any pitcher ever in the StatCast era. Hitting was unfortunate, but I'm more of an optimist, I think, than a lot of people in this room right now. You got to look at the bigger picture. We had a week off where the Mets were playing high-intensity games for the last 3 weeks. They're locked in right now. I never anticipated coming out today and scoring 7 runs. It's hard to do after a week off, especially going against a team that has been playing games where they're back against the wall. Yes, I would have liked to have more than 1 run, but it's baseball, and baseball's hard. It's a groove. If you're not in that groove, then it's going to be hard to win a game. And that goes back to the thing. The last 2 years, we've been so happy saying, oh, we don't have that first round bye. We can keep playing. Let's keep this intensity up. We're in the same seat that the Braves were in the last 2 years, trying to bring back that intensity from the regular season. And I think that this team will do it. I think tomorrow they're going to show up and we're going to see a lot different of a team than we saw tonight. Hitting was not good, but I think writing this team off is just a joke on all Philly fans' parts.
Well, then I'm a fucking joke because
I don't know that people are writing them off. I don't know that Shard's writing them off. I just think people are disappointed. They're underwhelmed with their expectations. Like, this is not the way you finish the series.
I've seen so many comments, Dalt, all over online saying this team is a bust. I'm just like, guys, calm down. I'm like, the reason baseball is a 5-game series is like we can come back tomorrow and we can even this series out. The team will even this series out. I know they will. There's no way they come out tomorrow looking as dog shit at hitting than they did tonight. I think, right now our adrenaline's high, our expectations are high, and us as Philly fans are like, you guys are fucking terrible. But like, we got to look at the bigger picture. Like, they've done this all year and they bounce back. That's the thing that's glorious about this team is like, okay, they looked like shit tonight. They're going to come out tomorrow and you know damn well they're going to hit the leather off that baseball. They will.
But Matt, I'm 1,000%. I know me and you were going back and forth in the group chat for a minute earlier with it long and the hitting and back and forth, whatever, right? I cannot agree more that mindset that you saw on like social media, the mindset that Shard has, the mindset that you and I have with Frat, with Dalt, everybody, that's a fucking Phillies fan, right? You are balls to the fucking wall, day in, day out. You expect greatness from guys like Rojas, from guys like Stubbs, all these guys that Clemens, Weston Wilson. You're not going to get shit out of them. But every time they're at the bat, you think that they're going to hit a long ball. You think that they're going to produce. That's just the way it fucking is, man. And I'm not saying, don't have your head don't lose your mind. Don't curse. Don't drink tonight. Don't do whatever. Just be safe about it. But at the same time, as a Phillies fan, as an Eagles fan, a Flyers, fucking Sixers, but the Sixers, all we did was want greatness. And we just want guys to come out there and look like they prepared. And watching these guys tonight, the only guy that looked prepared was Kyle Schwarber and Zack Wheeler. Everybody else looked a little bit lost at the plate. Granted, Harper went 10 straight at pitches, didn't swing. After that 11th pitch, it looked like he was swinging at volleyballs out there missing. So, like, that's my take on it all is all we're looking for is to come out there and attempt to win. Two guys look like they were out there to win tonight. Nobody else did.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I think for me personally, and we said this all year, and Matt, I know you said that Kevin Long's one of the best batting coaches in the league. I don't want to argue with you because
no, I'm ready, dude. You want to fucking argue? Let's do it. I'll put out the fucking stats and everything, man.
You're my guy, though. But I gotta disagree with you there, man. There's so many issues to me personally that just screams that Kevin Long needs to be fired after this season. First of all, Nick Castellanos swinging at things way in the dirt, swinging at sliders way out. It's just been a consistent issue all season, and I just don't understand how he has not fixed that, how he's not seeing the certain pitches that, pitchers know they're going to get him on. The other thing is, if you look at how patient, the Mets were with their at-bats tonight compared to us, it just seems like the Phillies team, this Phillies team for the past 3 years, all they want to do is play hero ball. Whereas the Mets, they kill you by playing the small ball. You look at the 8th, 9th inning, that's how they killed us. Was just balls up the middle, balls to, left field, to right field, just small ball. And it seems like the Phillies there's times where they can do that. There are. But it seems like 9 times out of 10, 8 times out of 10, whatever, this team they don't want to do that. They don't. You had runners in scoring position, 9, 10 times tonight, and you didn't score any runs at all? You had multiple batters with multiple opportunities tonight, and you didn't take advantage at all any of the times you had people on base, you could have probably easily maybe kept yourself in the game in that 9th inning. Maybe. You know, I'm being optimistic here. But like they take first at bats, they take first pitches. It's annoying. Sometimes the first pitch is really great. Like Marsh earlier, he took that first pitch. I thought it was going to be out, but it wasn't. But it's the small things that are carrying over from last year. And it's just like I got to nitpick it because it's annoying. It's annoying.
It is.
Anytime a team dink and donks on you in any sport, it's annoying to lose like that. And especially when it all starts in the 8th inning. I mean, the thing was Zack Wheeler was so good for a majority of that game. We were all watching it. Then they said at the end of it, I think it was 111 pitches, his highest ever. So there's that. There's also the offense, a lot to blame too. And I think what Matt is saying, but also what Shard is saying is right. But I think the correlation between the two is, look, Kevin Long may have the guys good during the regular season, but I feel like a lot of the times in recency bias, at least, when it's time for the Phillies to show up and bat, they don't. Today being one of them. So there was that Kyle Schwarber leadoff, but besides that, until the end of the game, the offense was non-existent. So it really hurts as a fan, but I like Matt's passion too and his optimism, because that's what you got to have as a team. That was one thing I had written down here too. The Phillies suck, I feel, at like playing what I call bottomless baseball, which is where the Mets were today. When you're a team with nothing to fucking lose, no problem, almost like bottomless wings or bottomless fries at a restaurant. That's why I think of it that way. When you got nothing to lose and everything to give, they just don't seem to find a way to turn it on in that moment. And that's so frustrating as a fan, because that's when all eyes are on you. Even though Kyle Schwarber knocked that thing deep today to start the game, that gets you invigorated. That gets you hyped up. But as Kobe said, you got to finish the job. And today they didn't.
Yeah.
Brady, what do you think, man? We haven't really heard from you. I don't want to take any spotlight from you, dude. What do you think?
Let me tell you guys something. So let me tell you about the atmosphere today. Mets and Phillies fans were going at it. It was crazy. It was crazy to watch, and I must say, and I don't want to call out. I'm not going to say the exact name of the Mets and Phillies. You Mets and Phillies fans, I know it's normal to call each other stuff, but do not. Please, we're human beings. Do not escalate into a fight. I know it's a big rivalry and all. I know everybody gets drunk, but don't escalate it. And I saw some very rude, her name calling, all this stuff I witnessed today. That's why I didn't want Mets and Phillies. I didn't really want Mets and Phillies in the playoffs. That's the reason why. But I wanted the Brewers instead. But really, the atmosphere was great in the beginning. Then all of a sudden, guys, the pin just dropped after a while. The crowd was getting bored with the game. The pin dropped, and then, of course, in the 8th inning, the Mets fans jumping up and down like they won the championship. Oh my God! And then like they won, and then it looks like the police were about to throw out a couple of Mets fans I've seen. This was later in the game. It was getting ugly and brutal.
Back to blue. Let's go.
And I must say, tonight was a true. And I'll get into the positives in a minute. I'm gonna start with the negatives, and then I'll finish it off with a positive. Tonight, when I towards the end of the game, guys, tonight when I was closing up, I just felt a pin drop in my head. I was almost getting ready to cry after losing game 1. It was that bad. I wanted to start off on the right foot, but I just heard a literal pin drop in the stadium, and I listen, Philadelphia fans out there, I want to see you guys be noisy no matter what inning it is throughout the game tomorrow. I don't want to hear the pin drop for 5 innings just for a 1-0 game. I don't want to hear the pin drop. I want to hear it throughout tomorrow. I don't want to just hear it in the one inning when it matters. I want to it the whole entire game, not just the beginning and then towards the end. I think Dalton, I think you kind of noticed that too, right? I heard the pin drop for a while in a 1-0 game, which was ridiculous. And
now I was down in Newark, but the vibration level was certainly a lot less after that first inning. I hear what you're saying.
And they really, our crowd needs to get more into it throughout the game, not just in the beginning of the first couple innings, because I just heard when I was there, it was dead silent, like I was at a regular season game, which is an embarrassment to the city of Philadelphia for the pin dropping during a 1-0 game. And then in the eighth inning and all, when the Mets were scoring runs, I felt like it wasn't even then. It wasn't loud enough. And then the Mets just started scoring, and it's crazy. It's very crazy to me. And then I hear a guy. I'm not going to say his name because I don't know his name. A guy saying, F Philadelphia, F this, F that. And I'm tired. I'm tired of the same thing, man. I'm tired of the same thing. But on the positives, real quick, Zack Wheeler pitched well. Kyle Schwarber lived up to my expectations. And listen, man, and I saw your message, Dalton, but that's all I got to say. It's only game one, and boom.
I think personally, and, I said this last night, if you're selling your tickets and you're, panicking, you're selling your tickets because you think, oh, this is over, I still think you're a loser. I really do.
True.
I mean, I know I have my own personal opinions, I don't know how far this team is going to go. And, Matt, you're the opposite of me. You said this team is probably going to win tomorrow, which they probably will because I know how it goes. I'm always out and they pull me back in. But if you're selling your ticket, you're a loser. But I am going to say this. I am thinking and I am expecting that there's probably going to be a bit more Mets fans tomorrow than there were today. Because, I mean, that's Mets fans for you. So,
yep.
James, how many Mets fans were there? Because I saw a report that it was 99% Philly fans.
How many Mets fans were there? In the 300 level, I saw maybe close to 100 at least.
In your section or just all around?
Around in the 330s, I seen maybe 50 to. I would say close to. I had to be close to 100. Definitely close to 100 Mets fans, even though I probably didn't see every single one of them. Because there was a lady with a Jose Reyes jersey. I seen Lindor jerseys. I seen not Carlos Santana. Yohan Santana jerseys. Yeah, I think I saw Alonso jersey. I seen Mets fans, but yeah.
No real Mets fans with a Bartolo out their jersey, apparently.
Yeah, and there was somebody that was wearing wearing LeBron James's number, but just had a 23 on the back of the shirt. I think it was a Mets fan too.
I mean, I'm fine with 100 fans. I mean, the stadium holds
42,000-ish, yeah.
42. So, I mean, 100 out of 40,000 odd fans is fine. But they made it seem it was gonna be mostly Mets fans, the Sixers and the Knicks game. Now, I'm not saying I don't know. I think Philadelphia cares more about baseball than they do basketball, personally. But I still don't know. I think there will be more Mets fans tomorrow. But I know the whole Billie Eilish, whatever you want to call her, the whole concert kind of messed up people's tailgates too. So maybe that played into it. Maybe people just weren't drunk enough.
Hold up, Char. Off your point, Billie Eilish, I hope you even though I'm not the biggest fan of you, I hope you bring the Phillies luck being down in South Philadelphia tomorrow, please. So
is she here tomorrow too?
Yeah, no. She was here tonight, so she's bad luck then. Never mind. You got me confused.
Get out of Philly. Get out of Philly, Billie Eilish. Get out.
Yeah, but I guess positives now. I guess we'll talk about some positives, but for me, really, and it's a shame that they wasted his start. But really, for me, the only positive that I can really see is Zack Wheeler. And from my understanding, and you guys can back this up, has Zack Wheeler ever won an NLDS game that he's pitched? I saw a stat saying that every NLDS game that he's pitched, he's lost.
Lost? Topper's 7-0 in his last 7 series in the first game. They haven't lost game 1 since Topper's got to the postseason.
But usually it's Nola that pitches game 1, right?
Was Nola last year? Or was Wheeler last year?
Wheeler's always been our number 1.
Yeah. I know with the World Series of 22, Nola started that one. But other than that, I think it was mostly Wheeler.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe the stat is wrong then. But looking at Wheeler's stat lines, 7 innings pitched, 1 hit, no earned runs, 4 walks, 9 strikeouts, 0 ERA this entire game. Absolutely phenomenal start. But the offense, holy shit, dude. Terrible offense to back him up. And it seems like that's how it is lately. It's just every time Wheeler's out there and he pitches a gem, it's wasted.
Yep.
I'm gonna go back to the optimism part. And I mean, I'm not a professional baseball player. I'm nowhere close to a professional baseball player. But I've played baseball for 16 years on that line. When you take a week off, and I know that they're professional baseball players, I'm not, they should have batted better. But when you take a week off and play a team that has been on fire for 3 weeks before that game, it is hard to go out there. And then especially when it's a bullpen game, these batters cannot get into a groove. And baseball is all about a groove. When hitters hit, they hit. The entire team hits. There's never going to be just one hitter that's hitting and then everyone else strikes out. That doesn't happen. So I think really the week off, as much as it's great for our pitchers to have the rest, the week off is brutal because you're not in that groove anymore. You take that week off while these other teams are playing. And it goes back to the Mets or to the Braves the last 2 years. We've always been like, at least the Braves were like, oh shit, we have a week off. And we're like, we're going to go into the Braves. We're going to kill them because we're playing really good baseball right now.
So sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. This is the stat that I saw earlier from Adam Aronson. I guess he's made 3 NLDS starts with the Phillies, 19.1 innings, and they've lost all 3 of those games. So,
yeah, I'm not sure.
So he probably just doesn't get the production like he got tonight, like every other start this year, and then going into years in the past, apparently too.
Yeah, sorry, Matt. I didn't mean to cut you off. Keep going.
No, it's all right. And that also brings up a point. Zack Wheeler has been arguably one of the best pitchers in all of baseball this year, but his record doesn't show it. And that's because he's not getting the run support. But again, I don't think the offense should be a worry. I think the offense will show up. I think yes, they played a simulated game. And simulated games. You're not playing in an atmosphere or anything like that, but they're going to show up. And I really do. I have all of the confidence in this team. They're too good of a team to just write off. They showed it all year. Yeah, they had, they ended the year with the second best record in all of baseball, but they also had 2 months where they didn't play well. And that's because they had starters out with injuries. I can't imagine a scenario where they do not show up at all this series. They have the Mets by their necks. 7-3 with their record without Taijuan Walker starting. I mean, they have this team. They know how to beat this team, and I just can't imagine that they forget how to do that.
And through 7 innings, was it? The fans completely showed up too, was the note that I had. So they're going to do that again tomorrow. If the offense doesn't show up tomorrow,
then it's a worry.
Yeah, exactly. That's I'm with Matt. That's when we start to hit the panic button, because then we go play in New York. It's a series of 5. That's not a good look. So I do think that they should show up tomorrow. They showed up as far as helping out a pitcher today. Like I said, through 7 innings, just terrorizing. Those rally towels were going crazy. I mean, Brady, the energy there just had to be absolutely insane, too, throughout the first 7 innings. Like, was the outlook just high? Everybody was good. Everybody was happy as far as Phillies fans wise. And then once that 8th inning from hell came, it just completely changed the trajectory of everybody's face.
Oh yeah, early in the game. I mean, it was crazy earlier in the game. Everything was going. It was still kind of loud. Even later in the game was a little bit loud, but overall, once the 8th inning hit, once the Mets started taking the lead, the pin just dropped after that, and then the rest was history. And I must say one thing. Game 2 tomorrow. Remember. And here's a fact. Last couple years, when we won Game 1 in Atlanta, Atlanta beat us Game 2. So Mets won Game 1 in Philly. History says, based off of that, you would think we would win Game 2. So I like our chances tomorrow.
Knock on wood right now.
Possibly.
I will.
2. But yeah, knock on wood. That based off of that history of Atlanta beating us in Game 2, that we beat the Mets Game 2 in Game 2 tomorrow. Knock on wood. And then knock on wood after that in New York. Knock on wood that we don't get swept in New York. That we split somehow in New York and then come back for Game 5. Because I think there's no way I see us winning 3 in a row. I think it goes 5 games still.
I said from the beginning, Phillies in 5. I think... I mean, you got to win tomorrow. You have to.
And they will, Shard. They will.
You got to win tomorrow.
Matt sold me. I'm good. I'm all in. Matt sold me. You know, one thing I think the only 2 things we've really talked about tonight was, not to cut you off, Shard, but we talked about Wheeler and we talked about how nobody else produced. One thing that we didn't talk about with Wheeler was he hit 99 multiple times tonight. That's something that hasn't been done for Wheeler in a couple of years. Not like, he didn't pitch that like this season. He didn't pitch like that going after the All-Star break. He hasn't hit 98, 99 in almost 2 or 3 years. And the fact that he came in with a bye week and came out guns blazing, mowing people down, 10 straight fastballs to start the game is absolutely insane. And I will forever want that guy as my number 1 starting pitcher.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
But again, I think they'll probably win tomorrow.
Have some energy, Shard. Come on, dude.
Yeah,
it's fucking game 2 tomorrow.
They're gonna win tomorrow. They're gonna win tomorrow.
There it is. Yeah.
We went from right October to bloody October.
Oh my God. No, I think they will win tomorrow. I think they're gonna steal one probably in New York. I think it's gonna come down to Game 5, and I think if they adjust, I think it's going to be, Wheeler's going to pitch. I don't know if he'll pitch another gem on Game 5, but I think the offense will wake up. And Tommy's going to be there. Tommy's our good luck charm. So the Phillies know what they're doing. They're just dragging it out to Game 5 so Tommy can see them win. So
and on this note,
go ahead, James.
On my note to all you Mets fans out here, one thing you cannot say this year, and I know one thing you can't say is you're not division champion. So listen, if you end up, even if you somehow find a way to beat us in the best of 5 series, I wish you worst of luck into losing losing against one of the California team because that's where Dalton was at with KJ. So, worst case, if to not don't mean to be negative about my Phillies, but if worst case if that happened, I hope one of the California teams knocks you out, Padres or Dodgers. So we're still division champions, and all that beating the Phillies, and all that beating the Phillies or even winning 2 games, whatever would be relevant anyway. So Mets equal to Dallas Cowboys. So
I think it's really important to note too, and I mean you bring up the Mets, James. We have a NL postseason of 6 teams, and 3 of those teams are NL East. The Mets are not an easy team. We're playing, I mean, the NL East is one of the toughest divisions in the MLB, if not the toughest. And so, like, yes, I think the Phillies immensely are better than the Mets, but it's still division rivalry. This is the first time we've ever done this in the postseason. I'm not trying to make excuses, but there's a lot at stake here. We're playing a division rival, basically, and there's a lot on the line here. And, you know, Phillies have to show up, and they will. I'm confident. Caps off.
Do we think that, and I'm just going based off of what Nick Castellanos said post-game. So post-game, he said that the sun was basically messing with them. It was hard to see the ball with all the shadows and whatnot. I personally, I really hate the 4:05 start time. I think it's stupid. I think it's absolutely stupid. I think all post games, and I get it, you have West Coast games, you got to start at a certain time, whatever. I think you should have had the Phillies start at like 6:05 and had New York and Kansas City start at 7:05, and then you have the Dodgers and the Padres start at 8:05, 9:05, whatever. That's personally what I think. You know, I really don't think that anybody other than the West Coast people are going to watch the Dodgers and the Padres because they're both West Coast teams. Like nobody from the East Coast cares about the Dodgers or the Padres.
You got to watch it to find out who you play.
I really wish, and this comes back to Topper, they had this entire week knowing that they were going to be playing at 4:05. It may not have been announced until 2 days ago.
Tick pick knew.
It was a given.
But the team knows. They know when they're going to be playing. Why weren't they doing these practices in the shadows? That's when the home field advantage comes to play. If they knew what the shadows were going to look like, why weren't they practicing in those shadows? And that's always going to resonate with me. I really wish that they had prepared for that because the shadows are not easy. So, I mean, I really wish that Topper had done a better job preparing this team to play in those kinds of conditions because, yes, Schwarber hit a fucking bomb the first, on pitch 3 of the game, which was, I thought it was going to be game over after that. I was like, oh, here we go. It's Red October. But, other hitters did not see the ball as well as Schwarber was. And I really wish that they had done batting practice and did live pitching during those shadows to get really a feel for how that was going to look. And going to New York, it's not going to be much better. I think I saw that the game starts over there is at 5 o'clock, so maybe an hour later. I just wish that they had prepared for those shadows because the last 2 years, our starts in the NLDS were always at that 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock start. So I wish they did a little bit better planning for that.
Yeah, I think tomorrow before, they play the game, I'm at CBP during night games. So, I don't really know how the shadows work. Like most of the time I go to CBP, it's night games. So I don't really see the shadows most of the times, but I think I've only ever been to CBP like once during a day game, and I really can't tell you how the shadows are. But I think, before the game tomorrow, you really got to go out there and fuck around with the shadows, like figure it out. and see what works. Because I mean, like Nick Castellanos said, like both teams really were hitting until the sun went down.
Yep.
Like once the sun went down, the Mets, they were hitting. Excuse me. But like also the bullpen just imploded. Like imploded. And they haven't pitched in, some of these guys haven't pitched in, a week and a half. So whatever. I think tomorrow will be different. I do. I'm knock on wood. I'm hoping here's how I look at it with Sanchez. You got this big responsibility to start game 2. Topper, and really the fans, me personally, like, I don't know about you guys, but like Topper, the fans, everybody really has trust in you to start game 2. Like once they came out and said Sanchez is starting game 2, I was like, fuck yeah, dude. Like that's the move they should have made, because Sanchez's home versus away splits speak for themselves. Sanchez is he's better at home. Nola, I think he'll do okay in Citi Field. I do. I think he'll probably, which is typical, he'll let up 1 or 2 meatballs.
He had his best game of the season at Citi Field this year. His only complete game was up there.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, I think Sanchez will come out tomorrow. He might let up 1 or 2 runs, whatever. I mean, I don't know if he'll pitch well. We'll see. But I will say, I think that the offense really needs to show up tomorrow. Yeah, and we've been preaching this the entire show. So,
off your point, Shard, the offense really needs to show up tomorrow. I mean, we can't rely on Christopher Sanchez to give us 7 shutout innings, just like Zack Wheeler. And if we want to put the Mets to rest tomorrow, we got to score a lot of runs. We got to score at least 6 to 7 runs tomorrow, max, to put the Mets at rest. And I'm going to tell you one thing. I'm being optimistic here. The jersey I have on, Bryce Harper, is going to go off tomorrow. Just watch. He's going to go off. He's going to have a coming out party tomorrow at CBP.
If he wants that ring, he better.
Yeah, for real.
And Bryce Harper, and I hope I don't doubt he's watching this, but I hope if you're watching this, Bryce Harper, if you decide to watch this video, you should think about yourself after game 1. A man getting paid $330 million to play baseball, to play for the Philadelphia Phillies. You got to think about it this way. You got to come out on fire tomorrow. You got to have a 3 to 4 RBI game to put the Mets at bed. At least you got to have your coming out game tomorrow. Because if the rest of the guys don't show up, just like when Schwarber had multiple hits and the rest of the guys weren't showing up till late in the game, you got to show up. If everybody else not showing up, you got to show up yourself. You got to show up, and if a guy or 2 gets on base, you just got to try to hit a dinger, try to get hit one to the gap. Like, come on now, Bryce Harper, you're better than this, man.
Can I actually? I'm looking at the comments, and I want to bring this up because this is one of the things that annoyed the living hell out of me, and I put this in the group chat a couple times. A verified idiot. Even the announcers knew this would happen once Wheeler was pulled, just the way they spoke. They knew it was coming. Can you say announcers glazing the Mets the entire game? Because, oh my God, dude. Like, what was it? When the one dude got hit by the pitch, they were, like so sad and whiny for him. When Trey Turner got called safe, they were bitching and complaining that he got called safe. When the Yankees, I'm looking at the Yankees score. So that's why I said Yankees. I'm watching the Yankees and the Royals. When the Mets started scoring in the 8th inning, like they were, excited that they were scoring runs. Like, MLB, I'm gonna say this: if you hate the Phillies, just say that. Like every time it's a national broadcast, I swear, other than the one time that Tom McCarthy and God, I can't remember his name. I think it was against the Diamondbacks when we were on Apple TV. That was like the only good national broadcast I think we've had this season was Tom McCarthy and the other dude. But like national broadcasts just suck. The MLB cannot pick good announcers when the Phillies play national broadcasts.
I completely agree with you, Shard. It was really unfortunate to hear because when the pitching was going, yeah, Zack Wheeler would miss off the plate and they would call it a strike, and they're like, "That's unbelievable! I can't believe that's a strike." But then when the Mets pitcher, whoever was pitching, because they had 5 pitchers tonight, when they were pitching and they missed off the plate and they called it a strike, I was like, "That's a great call." And it's just like the ump tonight was terrible. The ump was brutal. That did not make anything easy because hitters didn't know what to swing at and what not to. Because this ump was clearly missing balls 6-7 inches off the plate. But I completely agree. It was completely unfair in the fact that Wheeler would miss off the plate and they'd be like, "That's a bad call." But then when the other pitchers on the Mets would miss off the plate, they're like, "That's a great pitch." And just as a fan, I know it has no effect on the actual game itself, but as a fan, it's just like, shut up. It's just like, Jesus, just like be consistent. It's like,
Right.
it's
And yeah, sure. This is something that we hit on a couple of times this year, like going to like the beginning of the year of nobody respects this team. Like even when they were the best team in baseball before the All-Star break, nobody respected them. Bleacher Report, ESPN, Top Score, all these, announcers, podcasts, broadcasters, shows, nobody respected them. And you're seeing the same exact thing here. And the problem is that it's not going to get better until they prove themselves and they put themselves winning a trophy. I don't think anything changes until then, because the other, I guess the general concept of it all is it's for every single Philadelphia sports team. All we do is talk shit on the Eagles, but the national broadcast is 10 times worse, right? Nobody believes in the Flyers. I still don't believe in the damn Sixers, but nobody believes in the Sixers. But it's the same thing for every sports team in Philadelphia. As soon as you go on a national broadcast, a national media, somebody who's world renowned, the team's shit, the team's garbage, they don't mean anything, the players are ass. It's just the same thing over and over and over again. This team has to prove themselves, and you prove that you can make the playoffs when you were the underdogs. You played with house money for the last 2 years, and you proved yourself that you can get there. This is the first year where you're not an underdog. You're the villain in the entire story this year. Prove yourself so nobody can come back out next year and talk shit.
Hey, I do. I know I do. I'm there like fucking 15 times a week, actually, and there's 7 days in the week, but you best believe every breakfast I'm there and probably every afternoon too. And shout out to McDonald's, because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have met Swoop yesterday without them.
That's off to McDonald's, baby.
That's off to McDonald's.
Hey, you guys know why we lost today, though? I'm gonna close it with this. You want to know why we lost? You guys know who was in attendance today?
Not Frank the Tank.
Nope, Nick Sirianni.
This fucking bum was in attendance.
Rolling Rock kind of guy.
That's why the offense was terrible. This guy was in.
Don't I hate that he's a Rolling Rock guy.
Listen,
it doesn't shock me. I'll say that. I'm not even a beer drinker, but it doesn't shock me. And I feel like this. Hear me out. He's not really a Rolling Rock guy. He just wanted to get the Kelly Green can because he's the coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. He's like, oh, yeah, fuck, I have a green beer. Like, fuck, yeah, I'm the coach. Like, he doesn't even like Rolling Rock, probably.
I'm sure Sirianni.
Who the fuck is Koala?
I'm sure he still had his football team in mind, even during the game, even drinking.
Yeah, about which fourth down he can go on and not kick a field goal.
But I'm hoping, but for his sake being at the game, I know it was bad luck, but hopefully I know this is Philly, so I'm just going with the Eagles for one quick second. I'll tell you one thing. Hopefully Sirianni being relaxing at the stadium on the bye is his cure for our sister team, the Eagles, to do good. So hopefully.
Did I hear a rumor that Kelsey and Peters were throwing out the pitches tomorrow?
I thought that was supposed to be today.
I heard that rumor today too, but maybe it's tomorrow. They need him fucking to throw a pitch tomorrow, because somebody better get in there to fucking hype up the team.
Utley, bro. That's who they need.
Yeah,
why is that over here from London?
Nobody hates the Mets like Chase Utley.
Yo, get Chase Utley out there, man.
Yeah. Hey. But yeah, anyway, guys, speaking of New York and all, They're watching the game now. The Yankees are. I'm gonna get ready. My buddy from South Philly Sheep, is a New York Yankees fan, and I hope to laugh at him tonight. I hope the Yankees lose tonight, and I hope to
We're gonna laugh
him.
at Colin if they lose.
Yeah, but hopefully tomorrow, getting on the topic tomorrow of Game 2, I hope the Mets implode in some magical way, and now the crowd needs to be louder tomorrow, louder, even louder.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to say this again, like I said last night. Any Phillies fans watching this, if you're thinking of, and I said this earlier, if you're thinking of selling your tickets, don't do it. I'll gladly take them. Send me
Sell
a
to
DM.
the 5 guys right here.
Send me a DM. No, seriously, I will buy. If anybody wants to sell their tickets, I will gladly, if you have a fair price, I will gladly buy some tickets. I'll take the misses and we'll go down to CBP and cheer on the Phillies. But yeah, that's really all we have for you guys tonight. I think for the postseason shows, we're going to do more of like a discussion format, kind of like we did tonight. I think it flows better. I think everybody likes it more. I mean, we have more viewers than we typically do when we do like topics. So
yeah, just bring some kind of general lower third so it's branded well and we're good with it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but thank you guys for tuning in again. One of the most watched shows this season. So appreciate y'all for tuning in. Appreciate all of you for joining. I know Matt's been doing his own thing in Colorado, so appreciate you tuning in. Big Hoss, always a pleasure having you. We miss you. We hope you're doing well out there in Colorado. Can't wait for you to get settled and make your return to 302. But yeah, man, we appreciate you coming on.
Of course.
So, but we'll see you guys tomorrow. Mets are leading the series 1-0, and you know, like we said earlier, I'm gonna show some enthusiasm because you know I don't show enough. Phillies are gonna fucking win tomorrow, buddy.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Let's fucking go. I'm a fighter, Adrian. I'm a fighter. Yes. But
I love it,
guys. Everybody, don't take this loss too seriously. Don't let it get you down. Don't let it affect your mental health. I know some people take Philly sports way too seriously. I'm one of those people. Anytime Phillies or Eagles lose, it affects my mental health the next day. But just get over it. Get over it. So, just want to advocate for sports mental health. So, but
sports mental health.
We'll see you guys tomorrow. Love you guys. Peace.
The Vikings.
Swing and a drive, left field. It's going, and it's gone! It is Bedlam at the bank!
The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
Podcast right here. You already know. Go fucking subscribe. Go follow.